What are the differences between 2.5 inches and 3.5 inches hard disks? What does the 2.5/3.5 value indicate? The thickness? I want one of my friends to buy 1 terabyte hard disk for me. I know I want a 1 TB capacity and 7,200 revolutions per minute, but don't know how to choose between 2.5 inches and 3.5 inches. I am worried that the 3.5 inches drive may be physically too big. Also, aside from the measurements, are there any other differences that may cause compatibility or usability concerns?
Another difference which is worth mentioning is that since 2.5 inches drives are mostly used in mobile computers, main goal during design was low power consumption and other important factors were considered a lower priority. Usually 2.5 inches drives have lower capacity, lower cache and lower angular velocity compared to 3.5 inches drives of similar price. For example, at this time, largest consumer 3.5 inches drives can store up to 3 TB of data, may have as much as 64 MB cache memory and are 7,200 revolutions per minute Oregon 10000 RPM. The downside is their power consumption, which is generally around 5 watts. It is quite fine for desktop computers, but too much for battery-operated devices. On the other hand, large 2.5 inches drives are in the 1 TB range and usually have between 8 MB and 16 MB of cache. The number of revolutions in minute is usually 5,400, but may be as much as 7,200. Their power consumption is lower and, for example, WD10 TPVT by Western Digital uses up to 2.5 W. While these numbers change with each generation of hard drives, one thing that more or less stays constant is the difference between performance of the drives and the price difference. Usually high-performance 2.5 inches drive will cost as much as high-performance 3.5 inches drive but will have performance of mid-range 3.5 inches drive. Also, 2.5 inches drives may be more resistant to vibration than 3.5 inches drives. For example, some 2.5 inches drives have accelerometers which can detect when drive is dropped and safely part drive head in order to minimize vibration damage. Such systems are rarer among 3.5 inches drives, since desktop computers are usually designed not to be moved while working.
Both are able to run on different speeds, the faster, the better, although the notebook ones will mostly run on 5.400 revolutions per minute to save energy. You can also use 2.5 in drives in a desktop PC, but I would suggest a dedicated mount so it doesn't vibrate.
In addition to the 2.5 inches mobile drives, there are 2.5 inches enterprise drives for heavy file access. See the Seagate Savio. By having smaller platters, high RPM is more practical, and seeks are physically shorter. Further, more drives can be packed into the same space, which, with a good RAID controller, will give higher performance. Similarly, the Western Digital Velociraptor drive uses smaller platters, even though the enclosure is the size of a standard 3.5 inches HDD, for greater performance, though with limited capacity.